present counsel.
Thank you very much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all can be seated. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, good morning. My name is Judge Paige Reese Whitaker. Judge Earl Glanville is no longer the judge presiding over this case. I will be the presiding judge in this case moving forward, and you are not to concern yourselves with this change. Let me remind you, as I assume the presiding duties in this case, that none of my decisions and nothing that I say during the trial is evidence, just like none of Judge Glanville's decisions and nothing Judge Glanville said during the trial is evidence. The decisions and remarks of a judge do not mean that the judge favors or leans to one side or another in this case. The court is only interested in seeing that this case is tried fairly based on the laws and the Constitution of the state of Georgia and the Constitution of the United States. You are to disregard any comments that may have been made by Judge Glanville that may have been disparaging of any of the lawyers in this case. To maintain the integrity of the jury system, I remind you that you must decide this case based only on the evidence admitted during this trial and the law as I will explain it to you. Now, I know that you have been on a bit of a break, but prior to that break, witness Kenneth Copeland was testifying. I'm going to instruct you and admonish you now that you are to disregard any and all of Mr. Copeland's testimony and any evidence introduced during that testimony that came after the 3 p.m. break on Wednesday, June 12th, which was the last break for that day. And that is, you are to disregard any and all testimony and evidence that came after the questioning and answers about Mr. Copeland's involvement in the Atlanta Blood Gang, ABG, and his January 11th, 2015 interview with Detective Thorpe of the Atlanta Police Department. The court is going to be collecting any of the notes you wrote during that portion of the trial, and I'm going to give you a short break in just a moment to identify those notes and provide those notes to my staff attorney, Ms. Persifield. And I'd like to find out at this point in time if there are any of you who cannot set aside and disregard that portion that I just mentioned of Mr. Copeland's testimony and evidence in the deliberations in this case. That is everything after his testimony about ABG and after the 3 p.m. break on Wednesday, June 12th. If there is anybody who cannot set aside and completely disregard that portion of the evidence in your deliberations, please stand up now and let me know if there are any of you. All right, thank you. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick break to go back in and identify that portion of your notes and provide them to the staff attorney, and then I'll have you back out. I'll give you some other short instructions and we'll resume the testimony. So y'all can go ahead and do that for now for me. Thank you.